In June of 2024, we made our first trip across the Atlantic Ocean. In this video, we will show you our first day in Dublin, Ireland. On our way! Our journey to Europe began in San Diego. After checking our bags and making it through security with ease, thanks to having TSA pre-check, we made our way to the United Club. The club's bar has a variety of alcoholic beverages, both complimentary and available for purchase, along with complimentary Coke products, Red Bull, and more. You may also find a salad bar, sandwiches, and hot items like soups and pasta. Desserts and coffee make for a full dining experience before your flight. The first flight of the trip took us to Newark, New Jersey. This was a red-eye flight, so we were able to get some sleep before our East Coast arrival. Newark opened their new Terminal A in 2023, replacing the original outdated one. From this terminal, you don't have to board the trains to get to the rental car area. Just take a long walk after picking up your luggage. After choosing our rental car for the day, we drove not to our next airport, but home to see friends and family at a luncheon at my sister's house. We spent a few hours enjoying their company and resting up before leaving for Philadelphia for the next leg of our journey. Too many people in the lounge for me to film all of it, so here's a selection of what we got. What is the wine?
Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. Since we had business class tickets to Dublin, we were able to access the British Airways lounge. One thing to note about this lounge is that once the final flight to London is boarding for the day, it's time for the lounge to close. Staff did not seem to mind us there, but we knew not to overstay our welcome as we were the only people there while they began to clean up for the day. This was a perfect time to take a little tour of the lounge and to show what they had to offer. We're going to Ireland. It was finally time to board our flight and officially get this vacation started. We found our seats, got comfortable, and were given menus to browse before takeoff. Show us your seat.
This is my seat.
Here's your pillow.
We got a little
Here's our menu. I don't know what this is for. It's our TV screen. Our seat reclining. And massage options. You're fine.
You're good.
Comes with plugs and an outlet for headphones. Bottled water. A reading light.
There during takeoff and landing. Please take time to locate the exit nearest to you, bearing in mind that the nearest useful exit may be behind you.
With a glass of wine in hand, I finally got a chance to watch the Barbie movie. The food selection was excellent and we both filled up quite quickly. I took a few hours to sleep, forgetting to film my seat in the lay flat position, but thanks to the magic of Google and the Aer Lingus website, you can see what our seats looked like fully flat. Matt woke me up in time to be served a bit of breakfast and snapped this photo from above the clouds. It's crazy. We're in the Revival Lounge, which you get to after you get your bags, because we had business class tickets where we have lounge access. And that means, since we can't check into our hotel yet, we get a full shower. After a much needed shower in the Revival Lounge, thanks to our business class tickets, we got a taxi to the hotel, the Hyatt-centric The Liberties, Dublin. Our room was a standard hotel room, complete with coffee machine, open-style closet, and an umbrella for those rainy Irish days. USB ports on each side of the bed above the nightstands were much appreciated, as we only had a few plug adapters for our phones, laptops, and iPads. A short walk from our hotel was our first point of interest for the day, St. Patrick's Cathedral. St. Patrick's Cathedral, built in the 12th century, is the largest cathedral in Dublin, Ireland. The cathedral is named after St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, who is believed to have baptized converts on this site. It features stunning Gothic architecture with a magnificent 43-meter spire, making it a prominent landmark in the city. The Guinness family played a significant role in the restoration of St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin in the mid-19th century. Sir Benjamin Lee Guinness spearheaded the major restoration project, which saved the cathedral from potential collapse. He funded the extensive work between 1860 and 1865. After purchasing your entry ticket and heading to the right, you'll come across the final resting place of the writer Jonathan Swift, famous for Gulliver's Travels. He was once dean of the cathedral and is buried there. Buried alongside him is his friend Stella, who died a few years before him and whom he mourned greatly. As you move along, you'll come across the other final resting spots and dedications to many important people to the church. One thing that struck me is the beauty of the many stained glass windows, which added beautiful colors to this neutral-toned cathedral. O'Neill's Pub. Matt's all happy. First beer in Ireland. And what'd you get to eat, Matt?
It is a roast beef, hot roast beef with Dubliner, I guess. I don't know how you pronounce it. Dubliner cheese. And some
potatoes.
I don't know what's over here. Sauce.
And one long carrot.
And I think it's just mayo. Menus up there.
The next point of interest on our itinerary was Epic Irish Emigration Museum. Having a large number of ancestors on both sides of my family coming from Ireland, naturally I was curious about this museum.
The four corners of the globe. And here's where we tell their story.
At the start of your visit, you'll receive an empty passport that you can stamp in each area throughout your time there. It also acts as a map of the museum. Epic is a fully immersible experience. Sights and sounds, interactive exhibits, and so much to learn. Topics range from Irish influence in dance and the arts to sports and politics. It was so very hot in the museum, I had to find an empty spot to sit down and take a rest more than once. Not sure if it was the heat, sometimes crowded areas from tour groups, or being exhausted from our travels, or a combination of all three. My advice is that if you go during busier tourism times or when the weather is warm like we did, to dress in light fabrics and wear comfortable shoes. The Epic Irish Emigration Museum is more than just a museum. It is a tribute to the resilience and indomitable spirit of the Irish people. Through its engaging exhibits and heartfelt stories, Epic offers a unique lens on Irish history and its lasting impact on the world. Whether you have Irish roots or are simply curious about the rich tapestry of Irish culture, a visit to Epic promises to be an enlightening and unforgettable experience. After we left the museum, it was time to pick up our rental car for tomorrow's adventure. This enterprise is located on the roof of the parking garage at St. Stephen's Green Shopping Center. But before we made it up there, we took a quick walk through this gorgeous shopping center. It opened in 1988 and is home to about 100 stores. With the deteriorating state of malls in the US, this was a bit of a treat to walk through. Renting our vehicle was the easy part. We had pre-reserved it and paid the extra for an automatic vehicle. For Americans traveling to Ireland, and I'm told the UK, if you do not drive manual transmission, you may need to pay extra to rent an automatic vehicle as they are not the norm there. Just a note. Enterprise said we could keep the car in the car park overnight, but needed to move down a level or two. Our first adventure in driving on the opposite side with steering wheel on the right began. Stay tuned for our next video to see more on our adventure driving in Ireland. I think our most anticipated visit of the day was to the Guinness Storehouse on St. James Gate. Over the last few years, Matt has become a fan of this particular beer, and everyone we know that has been to Dublin has told us we need to do the tour. Even if you aren't a beer drinker, this is quite an experience.
Fermentation process, which is when yeast is added into the brew, took place in this very building. Now, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of this document, you might see something that you recognize.
Going back to the 18th century, Guinness is one of the most popular beers worldwide, being brewed in 50 countries and available in 120. The storehouse opened to the public for tours in 2000 and is estimated to have been visited by 20 million people since then. Completely confident in his product, Arthur Guinness acquired the current location in 1759, signing a 9,000-year lease for €45 per year. This is a self-guided tour through 7 stories with a variety of exhibits on various aspects of the Guinness company and brewing process. In one area, you'll learn about and can get a whiff of the different main ingredients used in a Guinness stout, along with enjoying a small taster.
During the backing and hollowing operations, the stave is held in a jig called a horse or mare, which is an iron frame with a foot-operated spring clamp.
These are unique as they're not in fact an ingredient, but a byproduct of the fermentation process. So this one's going to give off a butterscotch or a toffee-like aroma due to the particular strain of yeast that we use here at Guinness. Alright guys, these aren't the complimentary pints that you were promised with your ticket. You will get that later on in Gravity, and it is significantly smaller, so make close to this one. So before we give you guys your samples, I'm going to run through some house rules. So the legal drinking age in Ireland is of course 18, so if you're under 18 you cannot collect a sample. Likewise, please not hand a sample or give a tasting sample to anyone under 18. We also operate a Challenge 25 policy here, which just means if we think you're under 25 and we ask to see your ID, please do not be offended.
Pour through the stout at the bottom. So what we're going to look for is on the back here, it's running a dry, we're going to finish with the hops. On the tip of your tongue, subtle sweetness from the malted barley, and on the middle and sides, a rich chocolate coffee flavour, and that's from the roasted barley. So we want to smell your Guinness first and see if we can identify any of those aromas. And then just before we take a big generous mouthful, does anyone know how we say cheers in Irish? Sláinte, yeah, very good. So we're going to raise our glasses, whether they're full or empty, and on three we're all going to say sláinte and take a big generous mouthful. So 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
Perfect, so take a big generous mouthful, swallow and exhale through your nose. And now it's official, these are all Guinness Stakes experts, so congratulations everyone. Sit down.
There are various stores and cafes located throughout the building and an entertaining exhibit on Guinness advertising. The tour wraps up in the 360-degree view Gravity Bar, where you can get a pint of Guinness, which is included in the price of your ticket. Amazing views of Dublin while enjoying a fresh Guinness are the perfect way to wrap up this tour.
At the Hall of Games. Thank you.
By this time we needed a little rest and headed back to our hotel for a bit. As it was a Monday and we hadn't fully adjusted to the time change, many places we thought to check out for dinner were already closed for the evening. So we went to the hotel bar for my first Irish coffee in Ireland and to split fish and chips. A friend of mine whose last name is Whelan told me about a bar in Dublin owned by relatives of hers by the name of Whelan, family name before some came to the US and changed it. Just so happened to be less than a 10-minute walk away. So tired from the day's adventures, we headed out for one drink at Whelan's pub to check out some live music and have a bit more of a local experience. We only have a few photos as both phones were nearly dead by this point in the day. In our next video, we take an adventure on the other side of the road, driving from Dublin to Blarney Castle to kiss the famous Blarney Stone, learn about murder holes, and visit the Poison Garden. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and consider commenting and/or subscribing. This will help us learn which videos you like best. Also, be sure to follow us everywhere at Grecoban.